Aside from being able to run a very fun and successful business from home, one of my absolute favorite things about having a Thunder laser machine is the ability to create gifts and personalized keepsakes on the fly. So far, I have made gifts for my daughter's volleyball team, high school sports teams, Christmas presents, retirement gifts, holiday decor, neighbor gifts, and so much more. Sadly, we recently had a loss in the family. Flowers didn't seem like quite enough to give on this occasion, so we decided to make keepsakes for the family that they could enjoy for many years to come. It needed to be small and lightweight enough to travel across country, but it also had to be quick enough that we could make it in time for the services. Joe and I thought that keychains would be the perfect gift to give because you can change the text and personalize them for each family member. Because this was for such a special occasion and for such an amazing human that graced our lives, I knew that I absolutely had to share this project with you. It was easy, short, sweet, and the perfect little keepsake for this occasion. Let me go ahead and show you what we did. Since we're engraving these keychains, I always use masking paper, which helps reduce the amount of char and any extra debris. Just lay the masking down on your material and cut to size. Then, using a scraper tool, firmly press over the entire area. Sometimes these boards are slightly warped, so to ensure they stay completely flat on the bed, we use these clamps we got on Etsy. With the design open in Lightburn, I just needed to duplicate the amount I needed for this particular dad set of keychains. Go to Edit, then Duplicate, then press Shift and use the arrow tool to move it directly next to one another. To make sure you have your engrave and cut settings correct, double-click the layer in your Cut Layers window. My engrave settings for 1/4 inch maple is 200 speed, 25 power, and I set the line interval to 0.079 and 321.52 lines per inch. My cut settings are 15 speed and 65 power. Once it's all set to go, hit send, which will bring your file to the Thunder. On the control panel, hit File, then click Enter. Verify it's the correct file and the correct settings. To make sure your camera is correct and the project will start where it's supposed to, hit Frame on the machine display. This will bring the head over and show you the outline of where the project will cut and engrave. Once it's in the right place, make sure your focus is set correctly. Adjust the bed as needed. We normally use a 6mm focus length. Close the door to the machine and press Start. We always like to engrave first and then cut. You can easily change the order in the Cut Layers palette. It will then move to cutting your shapes. Since we are doing double-sided keychains, it's best to use the negative from the first run as a template for the next engrave. Carefully pick up each piece, making sure not to move the material at all. Flip them over and set them back into the template. Then back in Lightburn, you'll need to switch your layers. Just click Off, Output, and Show on the engrave you just completed. Then click the next layer you need to engrave. Since there are 3 keychains here, I duplicated the file by going to Edit, Duplicate. To make sure it's centered properly, grab your engraved text, then go to this tool in your top menu bar. Hit Align V Center. Repeat for however many you need. I turned off the cut layer and then hit Send in Lightburn. Bring up the file on the Thunder and press Start for the next engrave. To finish these, remove the masking paper from both sides. Then I like to use a scraper tool to remove the remnants. Usually it's the inner parts of the letters and punctuations. We gave them a very light sanding using 220 grit paper and then used a small handheld air compressor to remove the dust. Our favorite way to coat this raw maple is using walrus oil that you can get right on Amazon. It really brings out the texture and grain in the raw wood to make everything pop. Just rub a little bit on and wipe with a dry rag to finish. We were really happy with how these turned out, loved the classic finish, and what we personalized them with. The last thing we needed to do was turn these into actual keychains. Everything is linked in the description box below. I got this 1/2 inch wide leather strap that I could cut as needed, bronze keychain rings, 8mm bronze rivets for leather, and since we haven't ever worked with leather yet, I also needed to get a leather hole punch. This one is great because it has various sizes that will basically accommodate any size hole you'll need for these type of projects. First thing is to cut the leather strap. We didn't want them to be too long, so these are only about 2.5 inches. You also need to account for the overlap. Next, you need to cut your holes out. One side of these rivets is smaller than the other, so depending on the ones you get, just adjust the hole maker accordingly. On this sample one, I actually forgot to add the key ring, but you get the idea here. Just slip the key ring on before you secure the rivets together. We made about 20 total keychains, and between Joe and I, it only took about 10 minutes to put them all completely together. I put each of these in a small organza bag, and these were sent out to Boston for the services. I love being able to make gifts like this anytime I want. Even if you think you don't have the design skills to create your own files, there are so many options available right on Etsy. You can honestly find SVG files for every occasion under the sun. To be honest, sometimes it's really nice being able to take a break from doing the regular orders that we have every day and dive right into something special like this. If you are a youth sports family, dance mom, coach, or belong to any specialized group, it's so nice being able to come up with quick and easy projects that you can give as gifts. Not to mention how personalized and special you can make somebody feel with a homemade gift. Generating a great work from home income and being able to craft anytime you want. It's honestly the best of both worlds and every maker's dream.